Today, we're going to talk about writing a narrative essay. A narrative essay is a little bit different than, an argumentative or analytical essay in the way that it's a little bit more personable, or maybe it reads a little bit more like a story. Um, so, by the end of this mini lesson, along with your lessons in Edgenuity, you should be able to write about a real life experience using very precise details and good organization to kind of um, have a story, a personal story, read a little bit like, let's say like a children's book or something, but offer that academic element. So, what is a narrative essay? It's a story about something real that has happened to you, or maybe something seemingly real, right? I always think of like movies that say based on a true story. That's a narrative, okay? And then for sure, something that is a real story is a narrative indeed. So, a big piece of a narrative essay, it has reflection in it. Okay, so something that you learned, a perspective you gained, an insight that you gained, that maybe had that experience not happened to you, you may not have learned, or definitely maybe not have learned at that age or that stage in your life. And think of this as the combination of one of your favorite children's books mixed with a really boring essay that you had to write. And that is indeed a narrative essay. Okay. How do you decide your topic? Well, often, in Edgenuity, you're going to be given a prompt. Um, somewhere along the line, there's a prompt: who is a hero in your life? What event in your life changed you? Um, those are topics that are given to you, and then you have to think about that, right? And sometimes narratives, it can feel a little bit too close to home that you're writing about, but that's usually what makes a narrative good. um, so dig deep, kind of answer those things. If it is a wide open topic, right, and you're not given a prompt, you might think about memorable moments in your life, things that have shaped the person you are today. You might think about people who have shaped the person you have become today, and those all will make for great narratives. So how do you start writing? A big thing, as always, is just start to brainstorm, right? Think of that event that maybe changed you, and kind of think about the beginning, middle, and end of it. um, you're obviously not going to give like every second of the event. So start to jot down the big actions that maybe happened, or the things you remember people saying to you that impacted you, right? And get those down on paper. After you've done that, think about how are you going to pull readers in? How are you going to make a reader feel like they are right there with you, right? And they're experiencing whatever it is that you experienced. Um, how will you wrap it up? What did you learn? What's your reflection going to sound like? As a little note, and this was hard for me to learn as a writer, but jot simply means little words and ideas, right? Save the big sentences for your essay, okay? So if you want to pause this video right now and start that process of brainstorming, go for it. Otherwise, you can continue to watch for how this plays out. Here's a sample outline. I'll let you kind of read through this a little bit, but essentially, you're still going to have an introduction, right? And it might just be a little bit different than an analytical essay, where you really are going to pull your reader in, and start to set the stage for that story, okay? And then you're going to tell the story, of course, relive the moment, right? Use dialogue. That's super important. A lot of people forget to use dialogue in narratives, but what was a conversation that was had, or what was that thing that someone said to you right when you picked up the phone and someone said something, or you opened an email and it was this acceptance letter. Like, share that dialogue with us and share those words with us. And then, of course, how did it end up, right? The reflection piece. Your closing paragraph, you're going to come back to your hook, bring it full circle, right? Just like a children's book always has an interesting way of coming full circle. I want you to try to do that too. If you're talking about why a person is heroic in your life, restate that, restate what you learned from them, restate what you learned from an experience. All of those things are going to make your narrative the perfect blend of a children's book and an analytical essay. Okay. What does it need to include? Of course, a good structure, right? And then, as I mentioned, dialogue, characters, setting, right? Characters are probably real people, right? Might be your family members, might be your friends. And then precision. Precision means being descriptive. Okay, so let it happen that your reader can visualize the story, they can feel the characters, they can feel the emotion. That makes for a good narrative. A little blurry, so don't strain too hard here, but this is the rubric that you are graded on for your personal narrative. The first thing about the ideas is that developed plot and setting with complex characters, right? So you've developed the characters, we can kind of picture them, we can feel who they are, those sort of things. Organization is good, right? If the story flows, it's not too choppy, we don't flash back and forward. Unless of course that's done with intention. And then your word choice, fluency, and conventions all make up an additional 60%, right? So overall, this is 100%, making up a strong A paper that I know you all can do. Let me know if you have any questions, right, with helping to revise your essay. And if you're, wanting some ideas of who you can talk to, these would be who I would suggest, right? A peer, maybe someone that's in the same class or someone that you see. An adult, always good, right? Not a teacher, right? I'm not going to edit your paper and grade your paper, but mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, aunt, uncle would be a good adult feedback. Reading it aloud to yourself helps you to catch errors. So all of those things. And then if you do need additional help, please, please, please do not hesitate to reach out. Here's my email address. You can contact me through Edgenuity as well. If I don't hear from you, I assume all is well. So make sure you reach out with any questions you have. And I look forward to reading these narratives. It is definitely one of my favorite parts of my job. So I'm excited for you to share, and we will chat with you soon.